Chicago Mayor Brandon Johnson is now banning the Trump administration from using city-owned property for federal immigration enforcement. These ICE-free zones means agents can't use them as a staging area. The executive order came shortly after Chicago and the state of Illinois sued the Trump administration in an attempt to block National Guard troop deployments. Mills Hayes is here with the very latest. Mills, good morning. A federal judge is refusing to block that deployment. So what happens now?
Yeah, Nick, good morning to you. A federal judge declined to immediately stop President Trump's deployment of troops to Chicago after Illinois and the city sued. The judge instead set a hearing for Thursday, allowing hundreds of federal troops from Texas to make their way here. Yesterday, Texas Governor Greg Abbott sharing this photo of Texas National Guard troops deploying to Illinois. They could be on the streets of Chicago as soon as today. President Trump continues to defend the decision, saying they're needed to protect federal workers from violent riots and would invoke the Insurrection Act if he has to.
But we have an Insurrection Act for a reason. If I had to enact it, I'd do that. If people were being killed and courts were holding us up, or governors or mayors were holding us up, sure, I'd do that.
The lawsuit says President Trump's long declared war on Chicago and Illinois is unlawful and dangerous.
Donald Trump is using our service members as political props and as pawns in his illegal effort to militarize our nation's cities. Since the beginning of this invasion, families have been snatched up off the streets or removed from their homes, zip-tied and detained for hours.
This lawsuit is the latest the president faces over his deployment of federal troops to Democrat-run cities and was filed just hours after a judge blocked troops' deployment to Portland, Oregon. Meanwhile, an alleged high-ranking member of a Chicago's Latin Kings street gang faces federal charges, with DHS accusing him of putting a hit out on Border Patrol Commander-at-Large Gregory Bovino. The U.S. Attorney's Office says that the man sent a Snapchat message stating $2K on information when you get him and $10K if you take him down. Bovino telling NewsNation, "I am a bit harder to kill than they think. The U.S. Border Patrol builds agents that are hard to kill, and a paltry $12,000 won't get the job done." At the Broadview ICE facility, where protests have been constant, the Broadview mayor has signed an executive order to limit protest times due to violence. Nick.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.